A very good evening and welcome to Rajya Sabha TV. My name is Aditi Nagpal Girotra and you're watching News Tonight, where we bring you updates from India and around the world. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu has highlighted the virtues of learning and mastering one's mother tongue. He was addressing participants at the World Telugu Cultural Fest in San Francisco through video conference on Friday.
Vice President Naidu said language is more than a mere instrument of expression and mastery over mother tongue enables easy learning of other languages. He further said learning other languages fosters wider bonding of humankind, besides enhancing opportunities of various kinds. The Vice President noted that every civilization conveys itself in the languages of its people as products of historic, social, economic and physical contexts. He also advised people to be always mindful and respectful of 4 M's, that is, mother, motherland, mother tongue and mentor.
A day after administering the oath to 45 of the 61 newly elected members of Rajya Sabha, Chairman Venkaiah Naidu on Thursday nominated all the new members to different department-related parliamentary standing committees. Here's a detailed report.
Those members who took oath on July 22nd will get to participate in the meetings of parliamentary committees, but the remaining 16 new members would participate only after they take oath. In all, Chairman Naidu has nominated 65 members on different committees, including filling up of some vacancies by sitting members. Member Ram Nath Kovind, being a minister, was not nominated to any committee. Dr. Vinay P. Sahasrabuddhe has been appointed as chairman of the Committee on Human Resource Development, further to the expiry of the membership of Dr. Satyanarayan Jatia. Members nominated to the committees include Jyotiraditya Scindia and former Lok Sabha Deputy Speaker M. Thambidurai have become members of the Parliamentary Committee on Human Resource Development, while Congress member Digvijay Singh has been nominated to the Committee on Urban Development. NCP leader Sharad Pawar has been made a member of the Committee on Defence. Senior Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge has been nominated to the Standing Committee on Commerce and former Rajya Sabha Deputy Speaker Harivansh to the panel on Agriculture. Former Prime Minister H.D. Deve Gowda, who took oath as Rajya Sabha member, has been nominated to the Committee on Railways, while former Chief Justice of India Ranjan Gogoi has been made a member of the Committee on External Affairs. Among others who have been nominated to various parliamentary committees are Bhuvaneshwar Kalita and G.K. Vasan to HRD, Subrata Bakshi, Ramchandra Jangra, Alla Ayodhya Rami Reddy and Sumer Singh Solanki to Urban Development. Priyanka Chaturvedi, Deepak Prakash and Mausam Noor have been nominated to the Standing Committee on Commerce. KTS Tulsi, Nabam Rebia, J.M. Lokhandwala, Sudhanshu Trivedi, Ajit Kumar Bhuyan and Muzibullah Khan to Energy. MP Dinesh Trivedi has been nominated to the Standing Committee on Home Affairs. Udayan Raje Bhosle, Narhari Amin and Phulo Devi Netam are in Railways. Premchand Gupta and Rajiv Satav have been nominated to the Committee on Defence, while Tiruchi Shiva and K.C. Venugopal to the Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture. Shibu Soren and Mopidevi Venkataramana Rao to the Committee on Coal and Steel. Elamaram Karim has been nominated to Finance, while Dr. Bhagwat Karad to Petroleum and Natural Gas. Iranna Kadadi, K.P. Munuswamy, Sujit Kumar and Vanviroy Kharluki to Rural Development. Ram Nath Thakur, Biswajit Demari, Ashok Gasti, Ramila Ben Bara and Mamata Mohanta have been nominated to the Committee on Social Justice and Empowerment. Arun Singh, N.R. Elango and Subhash Chandra Singh to Water Resources. Indu Bala Goswami and Vashisht Narayan Singh to the Committee on Health and Family Welfare. Rupa Ganguly, Dr. Fauzia Tehseen Ahmed to Food, Consumer Affairs and Public Distribution. Maharaja Sana Joaba Laishamba to Science and Technology, Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Vivek Thakur, Dushyant Gautam and Neeraj Dangi to Labour. K. Vanlalvena, A.D. Singh and P. Selvarasu to Chemicals and Fertilizers, Pilli Subhash Chandra Bose to Standing Committee on Industry, Dipender Singh, K.R. Suresh Reddy, Abhay Bharadwaj and Rajendra Gehlot have been nominated to Personnel, Public Grievances, Law and Justice. Parimal Nathwani and Shakti Singh Gohil to the Information Technology Standing Committee. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
India and China on Friday held another round of talks under the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on India-China Border Affairs.
The meeting was held amid reports that the disengagement process along the line of actual control had slowed down. Both sides reviewed the situation in India-China border areas and the ongoing disengagement process along the line of actual control in the western sector. Both sides agreed once again that early and complete disengagement of the troops along the LAC and de-escalation from India-China border areas in accordance with bilateral agreement and protocols and full restoration of peace and tranquility was essential for smooth overall development of bilateral relations. The two sides agreed that another meeting of the senior commanders may be held soon so as to work out further steps to ensure expeditiously complete disengagement and de-escalation in the border areas. They also agreed to maintain ongoing engagements both at the diplomatic and military levels, including through the meetings of the WMCC.
Amid the border row with China, the government has tightened bidding regulations for companies from countries that share a land border with India. Citing defense and national security issues, the government on Thursday made an important amendment to its public finance rule, imposing restrictions on public procurement from bidders of border countries. More details of the government order in this report.
The government on Thursday amended the General Financial Rules 2017 to enable imposition of restrictions on bidders from countries that share a land border with India on grounds of defense of the country or matters directly or indirectly related to national security. Bidders from these countries will be eligible only if they are registered with the Registration Committee constituted by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. They will also be required to take mandatory political and security clearance from the External Affairs Ministry and the Home Ministry. The government order takes into ambit public sector banks and financial institutions, autonomous bodies, central public sector enterprises and public-private partnership projects receiving financial support from the government or its undertakings. State governments have also been directed to implement the order for all public procurement. Certain relaxations have been provided in limited cases, including for procurement of medical supplies for containment of COVID-19 global pandemic till the 31st of December 2020. Besides, the order for prior registration will not apply to countries to which the government extends lines of credit or provides development assistance, even if these countries share a land border with India. The new provisions will apply to all new tenders. In respect of tenders already invited, if the first stage of evaluation of qualifications has not been completed, bidders who are not registered as per the new order will be treated as not qualified. The order will also apply to other forms of public procurement. However, it does not apply to procurement by the private sector. The move comes weeks after the government made it mandatory for sellers on the government e-marketplace portal to clarify the country of origin of goods when registering new products. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The government on Friday issued detailed guidelines for Independence Day celebrations on 15th August amid the coronavirus pandemic.
The Home Ministry wrote to states and union territories telling them all government officers, states, governors, etc. to avoid congregation of public and use digital technology for celebrations. In its notification, the Home Ministry informed that flag hoisting ceremony at Red Fort in Delhi will consist of a guard of honor by the armed forces and Delhi police. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unfurl the national flag accompanied by national anthem and 21-gun salute. Prime Minister Modi will give a speech and release tricolored balloons at the end. Rashtrapati Bhavan to have at-home reception. For states and union territories, MHA has allowed flag hoisting ceremony, including unfurling of flag by Chief Minister, playing of national anthem and presentation of guard of honor. MHA has instructed not to allow large congregations, keeping in mind mandatory physical distancing norms. The guidelines also suggest inviting COVID warriors such as doctors, health workers, sanitation workers as recognition of their service in the fight against the pandemic. Other functions allowed include tree plantation, inter-school or inter-college debates on digital platforms, quiz contests, patriotic essay writing, among others, keeping in mind social distancing rules.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Thursday reviewed the capital expenditure plans of central public sector enterprises belonging to large infrastructure ministries.
Sitharaman held a meeting via video conferencing with secretaries of the Ministries of Civil Aviation, Steel, Chairman Railway Board along with CMDs of 7 central public sector enterprises. She asked them to expedite their FY21 targets to help the economy recover at a faster pace amid challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. The combined capex target for financial year 2020-21 for these 7 CPSCs is 24,663 crore rupees. In FY 2019-20, against the capex target of 30,420 crore rupees for these 7 CPSCs, the achievement was 25,974 crore rupees, which is 85%. During the first quarter of FY 2019-20, achievement was 3,878 crore rupees, and achievement of the first quarter of FY 2020-21 is 3,557 crore rupees. This was the second meeting in the ongoing series of review meetings that the Finance Minister is conducting with various stakeholders to accelerate economic growth in the background of the ongoing pandemic.
Nearly 50,000 new COVID-19 cases were reported in the last 24 hours for the first time. India overtook France as deaths due to COVID-19 passed 30,000. India now has the third highest caseload of infections and sixth highest number of deaths.
49,310 fresh infections in the last 24 hours pushed COVID-19 infections in India to over 12.87 lakh. 740 deaths in the past 24 hours have taken the death toll so far to 30,601. India also had the highest single-day recovery for the third day in a row, with 34,602 patients being discharged in the last 24 hours. There are over 4.4 lakh active cases in the country, while 8 lakh people have recovered. The recovery rate is 63.45%, while a case fatality rate of 2.38% is constantly falling. Over 1.5 crore samples were tested, with over 3.52 lakh samples tested on Thursday. Accelerated increase in lab infrastructure continues to drive the test, track and treat strategy. India has 1,290 testing labs across the country, while the number of COVID-19 tests per million people is nearly 10,000. Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh reported the highest number of cases in the last 24 hours. In South India, Andhra Pradesh is reporting the maximum rise in cases at 9.7% per day. Total infections reached 72,711 and at this rate it can overtake Karnataka's current figure over the weekend. Assam recorded 2,019 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, the highest in the northeast region. Bihar recorded 1,820 new COVID cases, taking the state's case load to 33,511. In cities, Pune is detecting over 3,000 cases every day, more than any other Indian city. Many other states are also witnessing rise in number of infections, including Sikkim, Uttarakhand, Arunachal Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Tripura, Odisha and Kerala. The 5 most affected states are Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Doubling time of total cases also fell below 20 days for the first time this month. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
As cases rise, India's fight against the deadly novel coronavirus continues in full force. Several states are imposing various restrictions to contain the spread of the virus. In its latest advisory, the MHA has laid out the protocol for Independence Day celebrations. At the Red Fort, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unfurl the national flag, accompanied by the national anthem and 21-gun salute. The Rashtrapati Bhavan will have the at-home reception.
The centre has asked all states to stay away from organising large congregations, ensure social distancing and webcast the Independence Day events. In an advisory, the Home Ministry said COVID-19 warriors, doctors, health and sanitation workers should be invited for the ceremony. Mumbai's BMC will allow only 5 people for arrival and immersion processions of Lord Ganesh idols during the Ganpati festival next month. Ahead of the festival, BMC has made a special appeal to citizens in this regard in a bid to curb the spread of COVID-19. Meanwhile, the All India Institute of Medical Sciences Delhi on Friday administered the first dose of Bharat Biotech's Covaxin to a 30-year-old male. The subject will be monitored for 2 weeks, after which he will be given the second dose. In view of the rising number of cases, no flights to and from Kolkata will operate on 25th and 29th of July due to a total lockdown. Kerala too has shut its interstate borders with Tamil Nadu and Karnataka due to the surge in COVID-19 cases. Amid the rapid surge in coronavirus cases, the Pune Municipal Corporation has revised the number of containment zones in the city from 109 to 87. In an effort to jointly combat the virus, Israel will send a research team to India to develop a rapid testing kit for COVID-19, which can give a result within 30 seconds. India and Israel had announced the joint development of rapid testing tools in May. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Global COVID-19 infections crossed 15.5 million on Friday, with the virus claiming over 6.2 lakh lives so far.
Noting that the pandemic has changed the lifestyle of people, the World Health Organization said the world is in the midst of a new normal of fighting the pandemic.
Almost 10 million cases, or 2/3 of all cases globally, are from 10 countries, and almost half of all cases reported so far are from just 3 countries. But we will not be going back to the old normal. The pandemic has already changed the way we live our lives. Part of adjusting the new normal is finding ways to live our lives safely.
With over 4.1 million cases, more than 146,000 deaths and rising infections in almost all states, the United States is the worst affected. Brazil on Thursday registered 59,961 new coronavirus cases, bringing the nationwide tally to over 2.3 million. 1,311 patients died on the day, taking the death toll to 84,082. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro said he was in good health despite testing positive for the novel coronavirus for a 3rd time. South African public schools will close for the next 4 weeks as coronavirus cases rose over 4 lakh.
The next few weeks will put our resources and resolve to the test as never before, and I call on all South Africans to remain strong.
Spain reported 2,615 fresh cases on Thursday, 415 from Aragon region. Several affected towns in the Aragon area moved back to phase 2 of the coronavirus de-escalation plan following the infection spike. Recreational venues are shut while gatherings of over 10 people are banned. Britain has mandated face masks in enclosed spaces, including shops. Anyone violating the new rule will be fined £100.
The use of face masks, the use of all the social distancing measures really does depend on our ability collectively to get the pandemic right down and to keep it down.
Other countries including Japan, Australia, Iran and China are experiencing resurgence in infections. Japan reported its biggest daily spike of 981 new cases, bringing the country's total to 27,956. Tokyo recorded 366 new infections, while Osaka had 104 new cases. Iran's confirmed COVID-19 cases surged to 2,84,034 after 2,621 new infections were reported on Thursday. Infections continue to rise in Australia's Victoria state with over 300 cases in the past 24 hours. New South Wales had 7 new cases, prompting authorities to reimpose restrictions in the state. On the same day, China reported 21 new COVID-19 cases, 15 of which were locally transmitted. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Countries worldwide are racing to develop vaccines against the coronavirus disease.
China's pharmaceutical company Sinopharm has said its potential COVID-19 vaccine would be ready for market by the end of 2020. The vaccine is in its final stage trials after promising initial results. Another vaccine developed by China's Sinovac Biotech is also conducting final stage trials. Pfizer and German partner BioNTech's vaccine has shown promising early stage results in humans. Pfizer hopes to start the final stage trial of the vaccine as early as next week. American firm Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine has also shown positive initial results. It will start phase 3 trials involving 30,000 volunteers on 27th of July. Oxford University's potential vaccine is also at an advanced stage of human trials. In other developments, AIIMS Delhi on Friday began human clinical trials for Bharat Biotech's Covaxin. The final shot of the potential vaccine was given to a 30-year-old man. He shall be monitored for 2 weeks, after which second dose will be given. Zydus Cadila is also conducting human clinical trials of its vaccine candidate Zycov-D. Currently, over 100 vaccines are in various stages of development globally. Of these, 23 potential vaccines are under clinical evaluation.
President Ram Nath Kovind on Friday flagged off 9 trucks carrying Red Cross relief supplies for the flood people of Assam, Bihar and COVID-affected people in Uttar Pradesh. These items are meant to safeguard and protect health workers and volunteers associated with the Indian Red Cross Society medical services in these states.
At least 28.32 lakh people in 26 districts of Assam have been affected by the floods. The death toll in the state this year has also gone up to 119. 123 animals have died in the flood-affected Kaziranga National Park, while 150 have been rescued. In Bihar, over 7.65 lakh people have been affected by floods across 10 districts. Close to 14,000 people have taken shelter in 28 relief camps. Around 80,000 people are being fed at 192 community kitchens established across the flood-hit areas of the state. Even as the floods wreak havoc, North and Northeast India will witness intense rainfall from 26th to 29th of July. The intensity and distribution of rainfall is very likely to increase over sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh. Heavy to very heavy rainfall is also likely to occur over Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram and Tripura during the same period. Heavy to very heavy rainfall is likely to occur over Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar during 26th to 28th of July and over Punjab and Haryana during 27th to 29th of July.
The Election Commission said on Friday that it will announce the schedule for holding by-elections to Assembly and Lok Sabha seats at an appropriate time.
However, the Election Commission did not specify whether the decision has been taken for all pending 57 by-polls to 56 Assembly seats and Lok Sabha constituency. In a Twitter message, an Election Commission spokesperson said a decision to hold by-polls in Assembly and parliamentary constituencies was taken by the Commission after a review today. The schedule shall be announced at an appropriate time. The announcement comes after the poll panel deferred by-polls to 7 Assembly and a Lok Sabha seat, citing floods and the COVID-19 pandemic. The 6-month deadline to hold these 8 by-polls is ending on 7th of September. The remaining 49 by-polls are due after September.
The Rajasthan High Court on Friday accepted the petition of the state's former Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot and 18 other rebel MLAs of Congress, challenging the disqualification notices served to them by the Speaker.
A division bench of Chief Justice Indrajit Mohanty and Prakash Gupta has also ordered to maintain status quo on the notices issued to these MLAs by the Speaker. With this order, the court has barred Speaker C.P. Joshi from acting on the 14 July disqualification notices. Earlier, the court also accepted the application submitted by the dissident MLAs of Congress to make the central government a party in this case.
The special NIA court in Kochi has extended the custody of the 3 accused in the Kerala gold smuggling case.
The special NIA court has sent Swapna Suresh, Sarath PS and Sandeep Nair to judicial custody till 21st of August. The court will consider the bail petitions of Swapna Suresh and Sandeep Nair on 5th of August. Probing the high-profile case, the NIA had earlier taken the 3 prime accused to various places in Thiruvananthapuram, including their residences and a flat near Secretariat. The NIA has also requested Interpol to issue a blue corner notice against Faisal Fareed, another accused in the high-profile case. A non-bailable warrant has already been issued against Fareed by the special NIA court in Kochi. Swapna Suresh, Sarath PS and Sandeep Nair are being investigated in connection with the smuggling of 30 kilograms of gold worth 14.82 crore rupees in the garb of diplomatic baggage, which was busted by customs in Thiruvananthapuram.
China has ordered the closure of the US consulate in Chengdu city in a tit-for-tat escalation between the 2 countries.
China said the move was a legitimate and necessary response to the US for ordering it to close its consulate in Houston earlier this week. China's move came hours after US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo hardened his tone further in a speech on Thursday at the library of former President Richard Nixon, whose 1972 China visit heralded a period of improved relations. In the speech, Pompeo accused China of being increasingly authoritarian at home and more aggressive in its hostility to freedom everywhere else. He had earlier said this week the Houston mission was a hub of spying and intellectual property theft. Tensions have been rising between the US and China over several key issues. President Donald Trump's administration has clashed repeatedly with Beijing over trade and the coronavirus pandemic, as well as China's imposition of a controversial new security law in Hong Kong.
And with this, it's a wrap on this edition of News Tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.